Lake Forest podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Looking for the best pool supplies? Look no further than Dohany's Pool Supplies. With a history dating back to 1967, this family-owned business offers everything families need to keep their pools clean and sparkling, from chemicals to equipment. Plus, customers enjoy free shipping on all orders. Visit Dohany's Pool Supplies today at doheny.com, DOHENY.com, to learn more. Broker Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, and Herrick.
Yeehaw! Look at you, the man with the hat.
Madam?
You got quite a hat collection. You got the Lincoln hat.
Yeah, we got the thinking cap.
Cap. And you got this one. Is that what you wore on election night at with Mayor-elect Tack that night?
Yep. And I guess the new cowboy hat, if you're east of the Mississippi, is a ball cap or trucker's hat.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of people
with the mesh in the back.
Yeah.
I got a Lake Forest Scouts hat like that. I don't have it right here, but
yeah, they're gonna pull it out your cold dead hands.
That's right. Speaking out of my Lake Forest,
yeah.
I come home from my trip around America, and in my mailbox, I don't know when it arrived.
Yeah, I got that too.
Oh my gosh! I know my screen doesn't show it very well.
We'll put it up.
How much did this cost? This propaganda? I mean, PR.
Am I off base when I call it propaganda, Joe? Should I be nicer to Melissa?
I mean, look, I we talked about this with Dan Proft last week on the show. I don't mind them doing some communication. But it's like, geez, how much does this all cost? I mean, this is like, it's how many pages? One?
That's good paper.
Yeah, I mean, it's full color, man. I don't think they have a print shop with the kids making this.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
They came out in the top
8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pages. 12 pages. And then the postage and man, That's how you pay for a referendum. That's how you get a referendum passed.
So speaking of Dan Proft, that just goes to show you another guy that I've met on this show that I came in with one opinion and I came out with another. Really smart dude.
I've known for 25 years he was a smart dude. Even though, like I said before, we don't always agree.
Well, people are blowing me crap because I asked them, "Hey, is Amy Jacobson still on the show?" I'm sure he doesn't listen to our podcast. I'm not listening to his, but
Listens now.
he's got a lot of people liked it. A lot of people liked
Yeah.
it. We like to get Brian on because I talked a little smack on the
Brian
or Ryan?
Timpone.
Yeah, Timpone.
I've got he sent me Timpone's contact info. Once we get now that I'm back,
Well, now they got us again on the front page.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
With our
then
picture.
And then you got two more.
Yeah, Weisser. I mean, how many stories can they get out of that one show with
Well, they
Weisser?
copied the one story, so we can help them out. We can,
Hey, I'm just Pete, be glad they're doing stories about your show. They don't do stories about that other
podcast. Why you gotta poke them? They're sleeping. They take a little nappy nap.
Yeah, they haven't done one in a while. Maybe, Christmas. Well, they would call it a holiday break. Yeah. They wouldn't call it a Christmas break.
And I will be in Naples next month. I'm debating whether I should ring Mr. Proft's doorbell and deliver a pizza. Would he be up for
arrange something there? There's lots of nice, fine establishments in Naples that you two can.
They got a great butcher there. I forget the name of it, but
Vergina is our favorite.
That could be it. Is that
right on 5th Street, 5th Avenue?
No. This is off the
right on the main drag there.
Off the. I'm on the. I can't afford the drag, but I do like.
If you go to Vergina during happy hour, man, you got lantern prices on good stuff. I mean, it's good.
No, I got some really good meat there, because I'm a smoker, I'm a cooker, and they have a great place where you can get meat, and they also have a place. Jimmy P's Butcher Shop and Deli.
Oh.
1833 Tamiami Trail North.
Tamiami Trail.
Yeah, Jimmy P's, highly recommend.
Ding ding.
The jalapeno burger.
Well, if you don't want to cook it yourself like Pete, then go to Vergina. They'll cook it for you.
Right. So
during happy hour, which I think is 2 to 4 or 2 to 5.
Well, if you can get, you
got to make reservations on Open Table though, because it fills up.
And again, public service announcement. Frogger going across the street.
It's funny now that you said that and I'm crossing the street. I was a lot of Lamborghinis and F-150s and.
I call them as I see them, Joe. I call them as I see them.
I'll tell you what though, then because we went then to Scottsdale, we went to Arizona. So some people go to Florida for Christmas break. Some people go to Arizona for Christmas break. We went to Florida and Arizona.
Yeah.
Christmas break because of the Fiesta Bowl. And so we spent a lot of time in Scottsdale. The game was in Glendale, but the hotel and all the activities were in Scottsdale. And Scottsdale is it's like Naples, but they haven't done it looks like they haven't done the landscaping because it's the whole place. It's like, this is nice, but when do they put the landscaping in?
A freaking desert.
Yeah, there is no landscaping.
Some of them just spray paint their front porch.
Yeah, there's houses with gravel lawns, very well manicured gravel lawns, like different colors of gravel and stuff. It's very. So Scottsdale is Lake Forest. Naples is Lake Forest South.
Yeah.
Scottsdale, Arizona is Lake Forest West.
What makes you go to Florida versus Arizona? Drier?
Dry. It was colder, but this time of year, it's colder in Arizona than it is in the nights get really cold in Arizona in the desert. in the winter. Like, so it'll be like 70 degrees during the day and it'll be like 40 at night. You need your
So,
winter coat at night.
so I'm watching, on the phone and the scores, and I'm watching, Liberty, and I'm like, oh man, up 6-3, whatever it
You're
is,
up 6-0.
6-0. That's okay.
And that was it. Yeah, well, look, I said it before. Oregon was going to win the game. I think we got our hopes up scoring that opening touchdown, but then the poor kid missed the extra point. That was kind of a bad omen, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Oregon ran the table after that. But let's look. I mean, let's think about this. The only team, Oregon lost 2 games this year, both of which were to Washington. And Washington is now in the national championship game with Michigan. So Oregon is a really, really good team that just had the misfortune of being in the same conference with Washington. If not, they might have been in this national championship game. Bo Nix is one heck of a player. He's gonna make some NFL team very happy when he turns pro. And look, Liberty 5 years ago wasn't even an FBS school, and now they're in a New Year's Bowl. So let's see what they do with it. They build it. Hopefully, we've seen teams like Northern Illinois make these New Year's Bowls and then fade away. But then other teams become fairly prominent powerhouses. So let's see what happens. Let's see what Liberty does with it. I think the NIL money will help Liberty. I think they're going to get they have a good alumni base of donors that are willing to step up and pitch in on the NIL money and help with the transfer portal. They just lost their quarterback, though, to the transfer portal, Caden Salter. But we'll see. It was a great, setting aside the score, it was a great experience for us. It really was. Hats off. You don't realize when you watch these bowl games, all the local stuff that goes into it.
Well, I was going to ask was it were there empty seats? Like, what was the experience going in there?
So the Liberty side was full, completely full. Oregon side was probably 90% full because it wasn't, again, this was kind of a letdown for Oregon. They wanted to be in the playoffs. The sides, though, where general admission is in the end zone, or the one side is the one end zone was the student section, but then the other end zone was just general seating. That was practically empty. But, who in Arizona is going to buy a ticket to a game between a team from Oregon and a team from Virginia that's not competing in the playoffs?
Well, these bowl games are in trouble. Two things. Well, you have they're going to expand to 12 team play, right? And then you have people dropping out on their teams to go into free agency.
Yeah, look what happened to Florida State. The whole team didn't show up. They basically had a high school team play.
So, look, man, if there's no money in it, follow the money. If it's affecting, the cash, they'll figure it out pretty quick.
Well, the only thing with that, I agree. And look, no one's a bigger capitalist than me, but the novelty of
I am bigger.
You are bigger. I've seen the picture of you and me standing together at the menorah lighting.
Continue.
The selling point, though, I think, of college football and college basketball is that it's not the NFL, it's not the NBA, that these kids are competing for their school, not for a buck, like the NFL stars and the NBA stars. So if that goes away and it's all about the money and these guys become free agents switching schools just like they do in the pros, do fans say, you know what, this is just minor league football now, I'm not interested? Because no one watches minor league baseball. So
just not enough money in it.
Yeah, I'm saying, so, the whole thing is, you're Michigan or you're Ohio State or you're whatever school it is, and 4 years there, and these are my guys, and they're fighting for my team and my alma mater or whatever. Now it's like, okay, we got him a year, and then he's going to transfer to another school. It becomes no different than the free agency. I mean, And does that then dilute the product as a whole? And I don't know the answer to that.
What did your boy enjoy the game? I mean, shoot.
Oh yeah, he had the time of his life, and he sat with us for like the first part, and then he found friends and stuff. He was up, he got right behind the players and stuff. He had a great time, and his sister had a great time.
Looked like a
So we
great.
all had a great time. I mean, Liberty did a wonderful job. They had some nice stuff before the game, offsite in Scottsdale, a Sunday morning prayer service with Jonathan Falwell, Jerry Falwell's one of Jerry Falwell's sons. Really nice event. It's a class act. It's a great university, and you don't have to be ultra right wing to be there. That's a myth. Look at me, moderate Republican. My kids going
Ask
there.
him.
So it was really great. And like I said, it's a great, amazing story that this school went from 50 years ago. When they first started 50 years ago, the university, the players were using like their old high school gear to play. That's how crazy this was back then. I mean, they were nothing. They were playing like Division 12 junior college games. And now only 5 years as an FBS school, and they're in a New Year's Six bowl. So, and if the playoffs had happened this year instead of next year, the 12 game play, they would have been in the 12. So let's see what they do with it. I'm very proud of them. Jamie Chadwell, the coach, first year, great job. Everyone thought with Hugh Freeze leaving for Auburn that they'd fall apart, and they've actually gotten better.
So Nashville.
Nashville hot.
Wow. Wow.
So that's why you got the hat on, huh?
Wow.
Just got back from Nashville.
Oh, New Year's Eve wedding. I don't know. I still haven't recovered. You had that.
You need to get over to our friends on Bank Lane for your
Yeah.
hydration session.
Put double. Just like holding 2 beers. Give me 2 bags. Holy crap. I have not been there, I don't know, for a long, long time. And it's nothing but cranes and music joints and bars. And somebody told me it's like New Orleans, never been there. Don't know if I have any inclination of going down there,
You ever
but
been to New Orleans?
I have not been to New Orleans.
Dude,
No reason. Why am I going down
I
there?
got engaged in New Orleans
Well, like I
to my wife.
said, like, I don't know. It's Louisiana. It doesn't.
You should check out New Orleans. You got the French Quarter, all that stuff. You should go check it out.
All I know is what I hear, and so I go there.
Yeah, does it get a little crazy? But it gets a little crazy everywhere, man. I mean, it's
But as far as music goes, okay, no jazz in New Orleans. Okay, I'm not a jazz guy, but now country's more pop. I I don't think you can call it country anymore, but of course I went to the Johnny Cash Museum. Oh, they got my $30. I
the
took
Johnny Cash Museum. What'd you see? Like his old guitars?
well, I'll put a photo here of me playing a bass with my wife, cut out, which I didn't need to pay $30 to go in there. But you get to see his all his outfits, the man in black, and then all of the impact he's had on music and all the different movie stars or music stars that have covered his music. Um, and back in the day, in the early 90s, when I was, in the music game a little bit more on the management side, we had the chance to bring in Johnny Cash 2 or 3 times to, to book him. And what a stand-up guy. His family, they traveled as a family. Johnny Cash had a rough going at the beginning, and as he matured, he figured out what's important in life and met the whole family, and I became a fan. And he's cool as hell. Cool as hell. So you get to see all this stuff in there. And but they got my $30. that's not $30. It's just $30. How much is it free to go into a presidential library? Asking for a friend.
I'm trying to remember. I've been to a couple of them.
I
I
know.
can't. I think there's a nominal. I
So
think you
they
do have
asked
to
for a
pay
donation.
something.
Maybe they asked for a donation, but
It wasn't 30 though.
that
But
would
I've been to the Reagan Library. I've been to the George W. Bush Reagan Library is in Simi Valley, California. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful place. George W. Bush Library is at SMU near Dallas. I went to the Jimmy Carter Library in Atlanta.
that's interesting.
Yeah. Um, the prices there are much higher because of reflecting the inflation that occurred during his presidency.
Yeah,
Uh,
dollar a barrel to $10 a barrel.
no, but I'm trying to think if there's. Oh, and I went to the JFK Library in Boston many years ago.
So Nashville, cranes everywhere, different attitudes, live your life. So I see the difference. It's not quite like, well, it was challenging getting across the street in Nashville too, I should say, but not quite as bad.
maybe you just have challenges getting across the street, Pete.
Well, just in these booming towns, right?
Oh,
Just saying. So Nashville, great town. Did a reception at one of the orchestra hall there, which I don't remember what it is, but it was a big.
did you go to Grand Ole Opry?
Did not. Did
Oh,
no. It was well. It's kind of a lot of bowl games on, so you want to be in a
yeah.
bar, catch some of the games. How about that Michigan game? Holy crap! Could not stay up for the Washington game, but no, Nashville's happening. I see what the
Blue.
talk is all about, and I was the only guy with a cowboy hat on. I couldn't believe it.
Passe, man.
No, that means I'm if everybody else is doing it, I do the opposite.
So when we have Lake Forest days this year and we have the Lake Forest podcast float in the parade,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
hat are you going to wear? Everyone wants to know, is he going to wear the Lincoln hat? Is he going to wear the thinking cap? Is he going to wear the cowboy hat? What hat is it going to be? Maybe another one?
Soon to tell. But
It'll be a surprise.
I think we'll be in a pickup waving because that will walk in bull crap, and we got to figure out a better way of
Get a
distributing.
convertible. You can do like a
Oh God.
Chairman Mao.
I only do it if, hey, head of police, whoever it is, the watch commander, I want somebody up on the roofs because I don't want anybody taking me out.
Grassy knoll on Western Avenue.
Podcast host assassinated by Brew Beidler.
See, gonna be in a lot of trouble.
so anyways, getting back to Dan. Okay, I get it now.
Good dude, and I saw him later in the week. He really enjoyed it. He was impressed.
He educated. That's part of our shtick. I like to learn, and I have a perception, and if I have a perception, that means that there's probably 70% of the other people that have that perception. And if you can get it to 68%, that's good for everybody. Now, Joe, let's talk about some important shizit. Migrants, or as I like to call them, illegals. If you're on that side, they're migrants. If you're on our side, illegals.
Are they the same as people sneaking across the border, or are these people applying for U.S. citizenship? I don't know. I'm asking this seriously because I don't know the answer.
Well,
there is a difference.
There is a serious topic. I put a little article out there to kind of nudge our officials in town to say, hey man, what's going on behind the scenes? And unofficially, here's what I got. Okay, first of all, what's the issue? The issue is we're in a train station town. Texas is using state employees to put people on buses and drop them off in Chicago. There's a Texas employee. If you know better, stop me, but here's what I got. Texas state employees are at metro stations doling out train tickets to send people wherever. Okay. And I just happened to use Woodstock because it came up in the McHenry scanner, and this is happening in Hillside.
Highland Park.
Wait, hold on a second. Jeff will be on in a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe we'll revisit some of these topics, but so they're dropping them off and they're sending them everywhere, and then Woodstock doesn't have any language together or they're putting language together on how to deal with this thing. And our question is, if we have 2 train stations, so you can
We're
go
a two-station town.
You can go to Ogilvy, you can go to Union Station, you can have 2 Texas employees there just holding on tickets. So kind of what I heard is if that happens to us, once they get here, we're going to have buses ready to go to send them back to Chicago. That's a short form way of,
Well, I read online, and again, sometimes things you read online aren't true. But I read somewhere that on New Year's Eve, there were 2 drop-offs in Highland Park.
Don't know.
You read this?
New Year's Eve.
Be one of those internet rumors.
Dude, I'm still hungover.
All right. Well, we'll have to maybe fact check that before we.
Well, part of what this podcast is again, we're 2 guys sitting in a bar.
Yeah.
People show up when they show up, and you talk up what's talking up. I hear things. That's what I've heard, and people.
Yeah, I mean, Greg Abbott, who's the governor of Texas, has made it clear that, hey, if you're for years, states on the border like Texas took the brunt of the immigration from Mexico and Central and South America. And they're saying, look, you all are telling us you're welcoming, you're a sanctuary state, whatever. Well, put your money where your mouth is.
Right. Well, a couple things. Jeff just stepped up to the bar. He's chilling with us, literally at the bar.
Put your money where your mouth is with Jeff Urso's fine food that he's got at his 20,000 restaurants.
Oh, stop. Good morning, boys. How are you?
Hey, man.
Hey, we're talking about you can chime in or not, but we're talking about this Lake Forest.
Don't chime in on this, dude.
Yeah, he can chime in.
What did I walk into? Should I come back?
You can say no comment. I understand. But we're talking about, is there any language on what to do if we get busloads of, I call them illegal. Some people call them migrants that get dropped off in Lake Forest. And I put a couple calls in, and unofficially what I've heard is that once they get here, we're going to send them back to Chicago. So, no problem. But the issue that I brought up is what's happening, Jeff, and I'm repeating it for the people because maybe they didn't hear me the first time. You got people that work for the state of Texas putting people on these buses. They got people that working for the state of Texas in Chicago at the metro stations, handing out tickets to send these people to wherever. And then, these villages, cities are crapping their pants. Oh my God, what are we going to do to deal with it? And the side thing that I've heard is, should we, okay, this is just my thoughts, Jeff, and you cannot say anything at all before we get to your new joint that they'll kick you out of. These people who own the bus and are driving the bus, are they human traffickers? And should the buses be impounded, sold? Let's say it happens in Lake Forest. Can we give that money to North Chicago or donate the bus to North Chicago? Gentlemen. Come on, Joe.
I don't have a whole lot to comment on that other than I will say this. My wife's from Poland.
Yeah.
Her father came here, through a vacation visa, and then, not the right way.
Yeah.
My grandparents are from Italy.
Yeah.
And this country, has always embraced, people, coming in. And my other thought is, I feel for all these people on these buses because, if I was in a place where I couldn't provide for my family, I mean, you guys would do the same thing. You're gonna try your hardest just to do it. So, the blame for any situation like this is squarely on the top politicians, and not the people that are on the buses, not the people involved. We got to put the blame on politicians that create bad policies. Period. So, that's all I got to say about that.
That's pretty good, Jeff.
You're a very wise man, Jeff, to stop there.
Well, you're Jeff. You're a little bit of a politician, aren't you? What's your rank? And
yeah. Well, I get to make policy on how fast you get to drive in Norwood by enforcing some speed humps. So that's pretty much the extent of my stuff. We do some great stuff with EA and GA, but this stuff is way above my pay grade.
Yeah. Well, I hate pointing fingers without offering solutions. Okay, and I agree with you. It's the people at the top, because even hey man, the South Side, like the blacks, African Americans, they're getting pissed off. They're like, whoa, what's up here? And I'm just telling you what, you're going to see pop, until they figure this thing out. I'm dead serious, because people are getting pissed. When you piss off a South Sider, okay, or a West Sider, and you see that stuff, because those gangs ain't going to, deal with that stuff. So you see Brandon Johnson. Is that his name, Joe? Now I'm getting to know his name. The mayor of Chicago?
Yeah, Brandon Johnson.
Brandon Johnson. Okay. Let's go, Brandon. Literally. But I put up a clip of a lady, Southside lady, saying, hey, man, send him to Joe.
So that all of you all know that I am representing multiple communities. Let's start with Brighton Park. Let's start with Alston, and let's also go with East Morgan Park. All of these communities that I have been out there with them protesting for these unsanctioned rights that has been going on here. It's just crazy. I'm going to get started with a few things since I got 3 minutes. Number one, I'm a native to Chicago. I was born and raised here. I've seen the changes. Don't let the age fool you for how I look, because I've been here a long time. I have seen things just transition as if a lot of people are not important here. I'm not for the sanctuary city. And the reason why I'm not for the sanctuary city is because people have waited years to come in here legally, not just transported on these buses, dropped off in our neighborhoods. Raise of crime, almost got hit several times just making it down here today. And this is ludicrous. There should not be two sets of laws. Also, the West Side and the South Side Black communities have been earmarked for having funds. Never seen it. We're still waiting on those funds to come into those communities. Brandon Johnson, many people stood behind you. They feel let down. Because the day you came into office, which I believe was May 15th, you already had signed an executive order. Now, whether it came from Governor Pritzker or whomever that directed you on this, is it fair to these communities that have been waiting for years? You said you on the West Side, but you should know what's going on over there as well. Let's also talk about the things that I witnessed about crimes that are going on. Also, just watching my neighbor hook up electric, okay? Reroute the gas, burning grass on the lawn. When are you going to have our neighborhoods cleaned up? And when are we going to get the rights that we deserve? I'm not against anyone coming in here legally. I want to say that clearly. But for those who have not, they don't top us. They don't go before us. We're not last in line. $9,000 going to illegals, but those who live here have not gotten funding yet. Many people homeless. My husband is a veteran. Now, I got a heart for that. But we got a lot of these on the street. And I also have been the one that worked in food pantries, also helping people who are on the streets. They need to be taken care of. They need to stop being neglected, because if we don't have a voice here, we will have a voice out there.
Biden, right? So look,
Glad you clarified that and not me.
well, no, this is something that people are, look, we're at the bar, we're talking, and
yeah, you know, the other thing, the bigger thing on this very weighty topic, but most of these people that are coming now are not coming from Mexico. They're coming from Venezuela. And the reason they're coming from Venezuela is the government there is socialist. And socialism doesn't work.
They're coming from Texas is all I know, bro.
No, but I can't blame anyone for socialism is a failed experiment, and it has destroyed Venezuela, and that's why people are fleeing to the greatest nation in the world, full of capitalism and economic opportunity, because there ain't no opportunity when you got Bernie Sanders style socialism.
Poor Jeff, he had no idea what he's
wanting. But that's it. All right, let's talk restaurants with Jeff.
What did I walk into?
All right, no more of that. Let's talk.
Well, there'll be more of it, but we'll let Jeff go.
Rich Melman of Lake Forest and Lake Bluff, Jeff Urso.
Hi guys, good morning.
What you got going? Who you partnering with in Lake Bluff now? What you got going on?
We got some new exciting stuff. So we just partnered with Prairie. So we're coming in over.
What is
there.
Prairie? No idea what Prairie is.
Prairie's a coffee shop / restaurant / bar that does some really cool events in the summer. It's great. It's a lot of fun. You guys should definitely check it out. Best coffee in the area.
Where is it?
It's right downtown, 79 East Scranton.
In downtown Lake Bluff.
Yep. So it's a cool little place. And
I've been in there a couple times over since I came here, and really nice, great concept of, coffee bar in the morning and during the day, and then transitions to a bar and restaurant, right? Food too.
Yeah. Well, so the cool thing is you bring in outside food vendors. Why I wanted to get so involved would be, now we really want to work with local restaurants coming in there, setting up shop in the summer, really supporting our local Lake Forest, Lake Bluff guys. Even guys I compete with, we want to get them over there, do some cool stuff in the summer. So we're really excited about that.
So what are you going to provide there? Like, what's your,
well, this is an established place. It's been around, 10 years almost. And, why I like it so much is it's a community-based restaurant where it's, everyone's going in and the conversation's flowing. Everyone knows everybody. It's not corporate. This is not Starbucks. This is, your local coffee shop that turns into your local pub. So of course I wanted to be all over that. That was, I
guess my point is, am I going to get a Detroit pizza there?
Maybe a couple times a year, but no, not on a typical Wednesday. Right. So we have, we got a lady that's making, great, breakfast sandwiches. They do an awesome brunch on weekends. So yeah, it's cool. It's fun. It's something new and exciting for me. It's not a sports bar. So, I'm really excited to be part of it.
Hey man, how was New Year's Eve, man? Did you blow the doors off the place?
No. We heard Highwood was getting a little crazy. So we actually closed a little early on New Year's Eve at Duffers, just to make sure that we didn't get, overflow. We wanted to make sure everyone was safe, including our staff.
You are the new cool place, dude.
Oh, thank you.
My niece, there's no kind. I call them as I see them. My nieces and nephews, they're all go in there, and they're all of age, by the way.
Thank you. Good. Well, we do. We keep a doorman after 9, so that guy's working hard, and we're excited to have the college age and just post college kids in the neighborhood. I call them kids because I'm an old man now. But young adults, I should say, come in, and so they're having a great time.
No, and then you still got that buy one pizza, get one takeout?
Yeah, that's been killing it. So
holy crap.
Yeah, I like to it's been good. Donati's is banging, so we wanted to make sure everyone knew we were slinging some Zaz in East Lake Forest too.
Well, when I come back from a gig, I mean, there isn't a lot of food that's open, and I come in, I'm like, hey, man, kitchen's still open? Sure is.
Sure.
Give me one and one to go. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So you've got at Duffers, you've got like a to-go thing off to the side now, right?
Yeah. So that's, that was our original Donati's vision. Was we were in the back of the courtyard. And so I'm like, hey, how do we, back 10, 12 years ago, a little longer even, we used to be the high school hangout, right? All the high school kids come get slices.
Right.
And, we were that spot. So now what we created was, I'm like, hey, let's, we're a great spot for adults over at Duffers. And I'm like, but I really want to make sure there's a cool spot for kids too. When I was young, we had Burger King in the same strip mall. That's, long gone. But I'm like, all right, we got Susie Swirl, we do tacos, slices, dogs, all that stuff. So trying to really, people at lunch and then, younger kids coming through and, getting something they need too. So it's, we're the closest restaurant to the high school and, very walkable for, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders too.
Well, Joe and I can fully vouch for your joint.
Oh yeah. As Pete said in the promo for you guys, the za and wings are scrumptious.
Well, thank you guys. Appreciate that.
Oh, that's what you got to get the promotional piece going again. So Jeff, before we let you go, okay, you got your joint Lake Bluff and you got things going. I talked to Kathy Z 2-3 weeks ago, Kathy Zerniak, and I said, hey man, how about we get some music going, shut down Western, do something, you get some music going, and she's all in, man. I said, well,
yes, yeah. Her and Jason are very pro business.
Yeah.
They're great. I think it's coming, Pete. I mean, look. Lake Bluff does Bluffinia. They do block parties. They do the bike race. They do Rib Fest. Lake Bluff is a nonstop community-based party all summer. So, we really like it. Lake Forest has been dabbling. We've done the Country Music Festival. They had the 150th on Western. So I think they were kind of dipping their toe in it just to see how it's going. But
do it a step down and just like a block party type thing, Jeff.
Yeah.
And I got the music side of things. You got the food and drink side of things. Why don't we sit down with Kathy? She said she's open up to having a sit down. Are you in?
100%. And friends of the Lake Forest Park District, they're working on some stuff too to make sure that they get rolling on this. So I think all that's coming in Lake Forest. We'll go from 5 events a year to 10 to 15, but I think it's moving in the right direction.
I think we're going to get a stage by your joint there, and I'm going to bring the heat. All right, I'll connect with you after, Jeff. Anything else you want to promote?
No, that's it. I just, I hope you guys had a good holiday. You guys are always great customers here.
So how many? Let's go through the list of restaurants now.
Sure.
Duffers.
Donati.
You want me to read off the list? I know.
You got it.
Oh, Donati's, Pucks.
Yes, we got Donati's.
Bratski's.
We got our partner restaurant at Susie Swirl, of course. They make great, desserts. Kids love them. We got Bratski's. That's my favorite dive bar in the world. So if you're looking to go somewhere, watch a Hawks game, play some darts, and hang out with some cool people, make it over to Bratski's. We're open at 2 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, 1 o'clock during the week. And then we got just joining with Prairie. Prairie's a little more upscale, but it's a great spot, great conversational place. So yeah, we're running around having fun, guys.
It's going to be like an antitrust violation soon. You're going to
we're not. Yeah, we're just small enough to be cool, right? Once we cross that bridge and then we go corporate, then someone's got to come down here and kick me.
So if I said to you, Jeff, your next meal is your last meal, what restaurant is it from and what's on the menu?
Oh, I'm eating wings, dude. I mean, we have the best wings around. I love our wings. No one touches them.
What flavor? What's your favorite flavor sauce?
I'm a classic buffalo blue cheese guy. You can't beat that.
Southern hot. Put that on just came back from Nashville. Southern hot. That's the key word. Whatever.
I love Nashville, but hot in Nashville means insane and mild.
Oh, it's not. It's not. They are weak. I'm just weak.
It.
Just came back.
I know.
I call them as I see him. Jeff. Jeff
Yeah. You
Urso.
too, guys. Thanks for having me. All right.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye. Peace out.
All right, have a good morning.
All right.
See you, man.
These views are expressed only by Peach Hansons and Joe Weiss. All right.
Don't drag a restaurant owner into politics, man. Everybody's money's green.
Yeah, but common sense is common sense. You got
Yeah.
so what do you think about that idea is that we call those bus drivers traffickers and the owners of the buses and impound that stuff?
I thought that's what the city of Chicago ordinance was doing. The reason they're now going to the suburbs is because the city of Chicago passed an ordinance that says that if you do that, your bus does get impounded, and they have impounded.
I did not.
Buses. Oh, yeah.
I'm just asking.
Chicago City Council passed a few weeks ago an ordinance.
Okay.
Saying no more buses if they come into the city with unticketed passengers. So in other words, Greyhound can still come in.
Yeah.
But I think the phrase they used was unticketed passengers. Then your bus, there's a fine. The bus is impounded. The driver's arrested or whatever.
All right. So then wait a minute. They're using Metra to come here. So then it means that we couldn't have a bus sending them into Chicago because they would impound that
Well,
bus.
they're picking Metro stations so that they just get on the Metro train and they buy Metro tickets. You know, Metro's ridership has been down since the pandemic, so I think this is a boon for Metro. I think notice Metro's not stopping this. They're like, yeah, please buy our tickets. We need to fill these trains.
Who the hell owns Metro anyways? Put them all on. All the homeless are on Metro anyways.
CTA.
Do they?
Yeah, the Metro fares are like 4 times what it costs to ride this. You ever ridden the Blue Line out to O'Hare?
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
Well,
Booter.
I don't want to get into a tangent, but who the hell owns Metro?
We do.
Who's we?
The people. Metro's taxpayer funded.
It's taxpayer funded 100%.
Yeah, it's they're part of the Regional Transportation Authority. Metro, Pace, and the CTA.
All right. And then what's Amtrak?
Amtrak's the federal government trains that go from Chicago to Milwaukee and wherever else.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So if Chicago passed that ordinance and they're not okay, does that mean can you impound a train?
Impound a Metro train or public trains?
That's what I'm saying.
Metro could say we're not taking them, but I don't know how. If you bought a fare, how can they say no? I don't know.
Well,
I think Metro just wants the money right now because their ridership is so far down that they're just happy to have some.
They're going to get dropped off here. I'm trying to figure a solution. So
they put them here, they get on a Metro train, they wind up downtown, and then the city has to deal with it.
So you have to find out who that. If you work for the state of Texas, it should be public information, right? That if they're using a credit card or something, right? It's not going to be a
Yeah, I am sure someone's investigating this. Now, the complaint that Mayor Johnson and Governor Pritzker have had is that the state of Texas refuses to coordinate any of this with the state of Illinois or the city of Chicago, that they're just doing this and, no warning, nothing, and they have no idea how many are coming. The Democratic National Convention will be in Chicago this year, so the theory goes that this is just going to ramp up, and there's going to be like a zillion bus loads coming in. Now they're even flying them in. They flew them into O'Hare. They flew them into the Rockford Airport the other day. I mean, Greg Abbott is just playing with y'all here in Illinois on this, and he's saying it's because, look, for years, Texas bore the brunt of this. You all said you were a sanctuary city and a welcoming city.
Here you go.
So here you are. And I am excited because, I've always said government is not very good at banning things. I don't think government should ban guns. I don't think government should ban abortions. I don't think government should ban drugs, gambling, all that stuff. Look how prohibition turned out. If people really, really want to come here, it's hard to stop them. You can build all the walls you want. They're going to find a way around the wall or under the wall.
But
It's hard to regulate human behavior.
The question still stands, Joe. How do we correct this?
Well, like I said, number one, go to the source. I'm not advocating sending U.S. troops to Venezuela, but as long as you have Bernie Sanders AOC style socialism in Venezuela, where the economy is in absolute ruins, people are going to flee there for our country because despite all our problems right now, and despite all the Biden inflation or Bidenomics, whatever you want to call it, we're still the most prosperous country in the world because we are the most capitalist country in the world.
Joe, so, it's too long-winded, dude.
I understand it, but
okay, but if they're coming in, okay, you send troops to stop them. That's one way, but there's too many entry points and not enough troops. Okay. So is a solution that, okay, fine, come on in, fingerprint, somehow identify who these people are. The technology is there, eyeballs, fingerprints, come on in. Would the, what's that group called that wants to protect personal privacy and all that?
ACLU?
Yeah, ACLU. I don't know if they're going to have a problem with it. But
well, the problem is you don't really, if you're not a U.S. citizen, what rights do you actually have? We have rights as U.S. citizens, but they're coming here trying to become U.S. citizens. So I think you have less rights at that point in the process. Like Jeff said a minute ago, and I'll say it too. I mean, look, we're all descendants of immigrants, right? I mean,
hold on. My dad was in a displaced persons camp after World War II. I get it. Okay. He had to wait till a church sponsored the family to, to come over.
Precisely. Somebody followed a process.
Right. And my point is, there is no process. And the process, what is the simplest way to do it? Come in. If you can automatically have citizenship, if you fingerprint and all this stuff, that means that if you commit a crime, at least there's a fingerprint or something identifying, okay, we have cameras everywhere that can pick up people. All right. I'm not saying turn into China, but these people, we can at least put them to work or taxing or something. They're doing.
Look, we have an employee shortage in this country right now, right? Most businesses are short employees. Yeah. So does this help us build the workforce? Because I think the vast majority of the people coming here are good, honorable people who just want to live the American dream like we have. That said, like any large group of people, there's going to be some bad apples coming through. And we saw what happened on October 7th in Israel, where their border got compromised and terrorists came in and murdered 1,000 innocent Israelis in just a few hours.
Dude, Miami and Cuba,
that same thing could happen here. If our border is not secure from all the way out in the Pacific Ocean, all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, terrorist groups could seize on that, find a place to get through. And one morning we're waking up and we're seeing October 7th style attacks somewhere in this country.
I don't know what is more cost effective. I'm trying to think, what is the downside risk of in Texas, you want to come in? Fine, come on in. You get scanned or whatever. You cause any crap, you're booted out. Okay. Put them in Guantanamo. I have no idea. Someplace else. Okay. But at least you have some control of what's happening. Right. And then,
well, I think, the guy we should have on, because I think he should give us some answers, is our Congressman, Brad Schneider. What's he got to say about this? I am sure as a sitting member of Congress, he would have some information that he could share with his constituents through our podcast about what's going on.
Joe, get him on.
Let's get him on. Congressman, we'll reach out to you, but you said that the Lake Forest days you'd come on.
How about Julie Morrison? What does she got to say?
Well, she's a state senator, so I don't know how much she can really say. This is a federal issue, though. This when you're talking about the borders, that's a federal issue. So I want somebody, I want to hear what Brad Schneider has to say. I want to hear what Tammy Duckworth has to say. I want to hear what Dick Durbin has to say on this.
If you're dropped off in Lake Forest, you got no ID, no nothing, and you're living in a tent, what are you? You're homeless? Illegal? What is it?
I mean, there's all sorts of different ways you can label it, but it's clearly a challenge. And both parties have failed in this, I think, over the years. And I think right now, the Democrats are trying to make this into, and unfortunately, a few Republicans are playing into it, that it's just a bias against people who are Latino. And Donald Trump's comment that they're poisoning the blood of our country was absolutely one of the stupidest things he could have said.
Why? I like the horse. The jockey's killing me.
I mean, it's just we have a strong Latino community in our country, and that's great. I am not advocating sending people away because they don't conform to a certain
I grew up
racial
in a
or ethnic.
Latino community where I was the only white guy on the bus.
But I do think there's some Republicans and some conservatives, and probably some Democrats too, who are just biased against foreigners or against Latinos. All right. But that said, and that's what the Democrats want to play off of. And they just want to make this all about that. All right. And it's not, because there needs to be a balance here. There needs to be, as you said, Pete, a screening somewhere to check and to make sure who is who. There needs to be a process. Like I said, your ancestors, my ancestors came here through a process. They were screened. They had to wait. They had to become U.S. citizens. They had to learn the laws of our country, learn the language of our country, all of those things. That's not to say they had to forget their old language or anything. We encourage diversity. This is a diverse country. There's nothing wrong with diversity.
Joe, because we can't get a progressive on here, socialist, like, what is their argument of letting this happen? So Julie Morrison has a busload on her lawn. What is she going to say? Here, let me fix you some eggs.
Well, like I said, I think they're taking some of the comments that Donald Trump has made over the years, some of which were really stupid comments. I'll be honest with you, and I voted for him. But taking those, and they're trying to play off of it, and get votes. This is an election year, so everybody's trying to win the election. So they're going to do what they think is best, not for the country, but for them politically, both sides. And so they're going to play off of this. And look, there is a huge Latino vote in this country. And if you go back in history, when George W. Bush was the governor of Texas, Republican governor of Texas, running against a Latino Democratic candidate in 1998, he not only won, he beat him by like 20 or 25 points. So, but that's not going to happen today, because the Democrats have successfully stereotyped Republicans to all be biased against any form of immigrants, or particularly against Latinos. And I think that the Republicans need to fight back that stereotype. Like I said, comments by Donald Trump poisoning the blood and stuff like that do not help. I don't know what he was thinking saying that. But that said, we can't just say let them all in. I think you need to have some process, some security there, and that's not happening. Again, I'm trying to take the middle ground like I always do, which means I piss off both sides when I do it. But
why, if there's a process in place now, why does it have to be this process to?
I don't know what the process is now, because whatever it is, it's not working.
Okay.
The Biden administration has failed miserably.
Okay. We're talking to Randy Tack right now. Okay. And all the aldermen, city council. Okay. We get 3 busloads in. We get 60 people. Holy crap. We got 2 train stations. Let's double that. Okay. We get 6 busloads. Hey, we're Lake Forest. We're an affluent community. We have Prue Beidler. We have Julie Morrison. We have Susan Garrett. Okay. What are we going to do? Just say we can't put them on a bus to Chicago because of that? You just said they passed that thing. Do we just say, here's a train ticket, go back and forth, and they just stay in Metro?
Good question. I mean, a lot of cities now are passing similar ordinances. I think I just read that Buffalo Grove passed one.
So the last one,
I wouldn't be surprised if Lake Forest passes one soon. Lake Bluff too. Lake Bluff has a train station, Pete.
Yeah, but what do they pass?
And then there's Highland Park has, I think, two actually. They got the Highland
Metro
Park one, and then they got there's that one that's Fort Sheridan. I think that's Highland Park, or it might be Highwood. I don't know. I mean, Highwood has a train station. I mean, and what happens when these buses start showing up at places that don't have a train station? What happens when they show up at Hawthorne Mall in Vernon Hills or Woodfield?
So the last village or city to pass an ordinance is the one that's going to get all these people, which I don't even know how many there are. Have you heard a number? I mean, because they're doing it like small increments here and there. In the aggregate, it all comes in.
And like I said, the conventional wisdom out there, this is going to ramp up as we get closer to the Democratic convention in Chicago.
Oh, I wish we had Daly back. I just got because I did
the first Richard J. Daly.
You know what? I read
Shoot to kill all the
the police
maim or kill, whatever it was.
The policeman isn't there to create disorder. The policeman is there to preserve disorder. Gentlemen, get the thing straight once and for all.
Police are not there to create disorder. They are there to preserve disorder.
The order.
No, he said preserve disorder.
I know, but I think he meant to say the order.
Whatever. Because Nashville's 8 hours, so I listened to the first son, with his kid Jay and
Richard M.
M. Dick Daly's the dad, and then Richard M. the son. He started off, as the offspring, and then later on in life, he figured it out, and he really did. I have a different respect for what he did for the city of Chicago in our years, and I just wish we had something like that. Because he treated it like a CEO. He was a CEO of Chicago. Do you have other thoughts on that, Joe?
No, I think, look, Daly did some bad things like the parking meter deal and some of this other stuff. Are you talking about Richard M. Daly?
Yeah, M.
The younger Daly Jr., whatever you want to call him. Yeah, no, I think, look, I mean, Chicago was a better city when he left office than when he took office back in, 1989, right after Harold Washington, a couple of years after Harold Washington died.
It was old gray, the beautification and all.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, he did a lot of stuff, rejuvenated a lot of neighborhoods, made downtown felt very safe. And each mayor, it just seems like since then, it's like, okay, and then Rahm Emanuel was, you felt like, oh man, now I suddenly miss Daly. Then you get Lori Lightfoot, and you're like, man, I suddenly miss Rahm.
Yeah.
And now Brandon's in there. People are like, I kind of miss Lori Lightfoot. It's like each one is worse than the past one. So I don't know. I think the demographics of Chicago have changed. A lot of people that voted for Rich Daly now have either passed away or live in the suburbs. We got a lot of people moving out to the burbs or moved out of state.
That's been going on forever.
So I think that's part of it. That I don't know if Rich Daly would win an election today, but it's Chicago's changed, and I don't think it's good for Lake Forest that Chicago has all these problems. People say, "Oh, this is great. It's a boon for Lake Forest realtors. Everybody's going to move out here." I don't agree with that. I think the economy of Lake Forest depends on the economy of Chicago, and when these big companies move out of Chicago, like a lot of them have. There's a lot of people that live in Lake Forest that work in Chicago or own businesses in Chicago, and they got to leave. They got to move to whatever state the company goes to, or if the company goes under. So a strong Chicago is good for Lake Forest. This city was built. Lake Forest was built as a wealthy suburb of Chicago, right, by the Armours and all that.
Yeah.
So we are very dependent upon Chicago. That said, Chicago's a mess. I mean, and Brandon Johnson can't organize his way out of a paper bag. And this migrant crisis is showing that front and center. Even Pritzker is like, dude, you don't know how to do anything right. And when Pritzker says you're messed up, you're really messed up. So I just don't know. I mean, this is does this problem end when the election ends? I don't know, man. Like I said, you got to go to the source though. Somehow, some way, and like I said, I don't think we should send troops. But as long as Venezuela is run by the people that are running it now, I don't blame anyone for wanting to get the hell out of that place.
Look, I
Socialism sucks.
The people that are coming in, I don't think they're against hard work because it's better than whatever work they've had now. So I don't think put them, look, FDR, the New Deal. Okay, well, do it, for anybody that's unemployed or wants unemployment benefits, put them to work, right?
Because why aren't the feds processing them and getting them into the system so they can work?
Yeah. So it's, because like Jeff said, what they're doing is you get a student visa or whatever and letting the green card expire or marrying somebody okay, games are being played. Can we get more tax revenue by recording these people than not doing it and playing these games, whack-a-mole or shipping them around all over the place? Joe, end of the show, gun to your head. Like, we get 6 busloads. What do we do? You're Randy Tack. Go.
Lake Forest is clearly not set up to handle that. They need to be sent to established services in Chicago. And
Your path in?
Putting them on a train, you put them on a train. If it means putting them on a bus, put them on a bus. Whatever you got to do. You can't just put people in places that are not set up to handle it, whether it's Lake Forest or any other suburb. And Lake Forest is not a sanctuary city. Lake Forest never passed a sanctuary city ordinance or any of that crap.
You asked the guy
if you want to play on Highland Park,
build a watch. What does Randy Tack do?
I just said it. Sends them some. No, don't send them back to Mexico or Latin America. You send them to where the services are set up for that. Whether it's which I assume has to be Chicago at this point, or Milwaukee. I don't know where else.
So you put them back on Metro. You buy them a ticket and you put them on Metro.
The Metro ticket's only like $5 or $6. How much more would we cost to support them in the city that's not set up to do it?
I'm not trying to be funny, but then
I'm not either.
It's back and forth on the Metro.
Is Chicago sending them back out to the suburbs on Metro later on? I haven't heard that one.
Why wouldn't they?
The bottom line is the federal government needs to step up. President Biden needs to step up and have a system in place to handle these. Congressman Schneider, come on, tell us what's going on here. You've got Joe Biden's ear.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do it in 1 minute. I'm going to send this to Schneider. I'm going to tag him on his sources. What do we want to say to Schneider, Joe?
I'd like to have him just come on the podcast in general, just to talk about issues in general. But I want to hear his take on this issue because this is clearly a federal issue. Local and state governments are not set up to handle federal issues.
Yeah.
Right. The immigration is a federal responsibility. How you handle it, how you process them, that is a responsibility of the federal government. Clearly, the Biden administration has failed in this responsibility.
So Schneider, okay, Republicans and Democrats, this is a blue and red issue. This affects everybody. You can only go so far in trying not to step in it and kissing babies. You got to be a leader, bro. Come on the show. Tell us how we can correct this thing.
I'd love to have. Congressman said he'd come on last summer, so let's.
Sounds like a politician.
Well, let's follow up with him. Let's get a hold of him and his staff and make it happen.
And you know what?
We got a hold of Dan Proft, and he was on the show the next week. You got a hold of Jeff Urso, he was on the show the next week. I mean, I think once we get a hold of these guys, most of them, except for Prue Beidler, come on the show.
Julie Morrison, Susan Garrett, Lake Forest Bookstore. Look, we wasted Dan Proft. Okay, I wish I would have appreciated the time more than I did. If I would have known about this issue, because I only know, it's like in a bar, I only know when people come in and they talk to me about it. If I knew this was an issue, I probably would have pressed it more than the school choice. But the school choice.
But I don't think, in fairness to Dan, I don't think Dan's privy. Dan only knows what he reads in the newspapers on this. He doesn't have a back door to some information.
No, but he's a smart guy to give offers on how.
Very smart guy. And he talked about it. He said, seal the border.
I know, but that doesn't help us now with these busloads getting like, that's a great future.
Well, I think I don't want to speak entirely for Dan, but I have a pretty strong feeling that Dan feels the same way I do about the Venezuelan government, that socialism sucks.
And what I'm hearing is it's not Venezuelans getting dropped off, it's the Mexicans and
all these countries are not as well run as our country. Even look, forget about Biden and all that and the clowns who run the state of Illinois these days, but this is still the greatest place to be, right? There is no place in the world with more economic opportunity than the United States. So maybe we need to do things to, without hurting us, make those places.
So 2024 is an election year.
This is going to
be, whether you're Democrat or Republican, this has got to add a bunch of points to the red side, don't you think? Because this is,
as long as Trump doesn't keep saying stupid stuff like poisoning the blood. When you say stupid, I mean, that's a Hitler line. And I'm not suggesting Donald Trump's a Nazi. I don't think he meant it. I really don't. I just think he just thought it was a great soundbite at one of his rallies.
Why doesn't he do a Biden play, hang out in the basement till the election?
They both should hang out in the basement.
Right.
And we lock the door.
And you know what?
Really the two best we got are these two, Biden.
Okay. Just put the policies up.
Nikki Haley.
Vote on the policies. Nikki Haley, stop spamming me. Stop it.
Like she's sending him. Come on, man. Just give her a couple bucks.
Like she is spamming the hell out of me.
They all do that, Pete. Come on.
It's Nikki Haley a lot.
Well, that's what happened. You signed my petition, man.
Oh, damn it. That's what happened. All right, Joe, any final words here?
I'm glad we had Jeff Urso on. I'm glad to be back in Lake Forest after a winter
the opinions
break.
of this show are meant to be the expressed opinions.
Yes.
The host and the co-host of this show.
That's right. Jeff Urso was just on to promote his business and not discuss any political views.
When you show up when you should, you could have missed the whole thing. That's what you get.
His wings are bipartisan.
Nashville hot. And we're going to get that music event going.
Scrumptious.
He's good.
Huzzah.
It's to die for. Insert commercial here. The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Looking for the best pool supplies? Look no further than Dohany's Pool Supplies. With a history dating back to 1967, this family-owned business offers everything families need to keep their pools clean and sparkling, from chemicals to equipment. Plus, customers enjoy free shipping on all orders. Visit Dohany's Pool Supplies today at doheny.com, DOHENY.com, to learn more. Broker Michelle Pardo has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, and Herrick.